Hi, I'm Dr. Mära Kevan at the Prana Maya Island Resort in Placencia, Belize. We are participating in a women's wild and rooted retreat as part of the Mära Wellness Group. With me today, we have Carrie Drinkwine and my co-creator and facilitator, Breyn Hibbs. All three of us are going to be here in fall of 2026 for the next Women's Wild and Rooted. Carrie, share a little bit. This is actually your second time to Prana Maya.
It is.
So maybe share a little bit about how you've been feeling coming for the second time, or how both visits were for you here.
Both of them were spectacular. So the first time I came was just checking it out, just connecting with people. And it was so nice to have so many like-minded people. First of all, you're coming to a holistic retreat center, which is very few and far between. So that was just nice, like good people. And then just coming into a space where, I mean, everything from the moment you stepped off that airplane was like VIP.
Nah.
I mean, it was so streamlined and so simple. Like somebody there meet you at the airport, the next step right after you get your bag, they're right there with the car to bringing you to the boat, to bringing you here. I mean, the organization was exceptional. The food was incredible, so fresh. Usually when I travel, there's like sacrifices or compromises you have to make.
Right.
And that adds a lot of stress to your body. So it's like you're on vacation, but you're trying to recover from your vacation after your vacation. Right? How many people like really feel that? I think so many. So for me, the whole experience was just, oh my gosh, this is so refreshing. I slept like a rock. The grounding sheets or the grounding mat in the bed is incredible. Even, my children are falling asleep within a second.
It's like you were saying that the kids are falling asleep, everyone's staying asleep.
Yeah.
And I've been watching, it's been really fun having the families here. We were talking with somebody else about how their kids have all bonded and they're moving around like a little pack around the island because nobody has to worry about a parent. I watched you this morning out on the pier with the kids. Mm-hmm. And it made me smile because I knew that some other parent was then going to tag team you to be like, okay, send the pack this way. I've got them.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. And Tad took them earlier and like they were all making jewelry and then I was helping them. So yeah, it's just been this, it's like almost an instant community feel just because of the way Prana Maya is set up. Right. So it's like the way that it's just it's almost like a shoe. We're all in this safe little cocoon here and it's just beautiful. So I can't say enough about the grounding, the energy, the organic just adds so much and just the attention to detail at every level.
Thank you. Well, it's been so fun getting to know you over the past few months and this idea that we're now going to collaborate on another Women's Wild and Rooted together. Bree, share a little bit about what you do for the retreats.
Yeah, so I've had the great honor and privilege of getting to work for and with Mära. We've actually known each other for going on 15 years.
Yes.
We met when we were both in different realms and different practices, but practitioners in Bend, Oregon. And friendship has lasted all these years. And Mära called me and was like, do you want to be a part of this? And I was like, absolutely, put me to work, whatever I can do. And so I do a combination of retreat curriculum creation, some, administrative and operational support. And then I also teach yoga and do one-on-one sessions, somatic sessions when we're on site. And the beautiful thing about Mära Wellness Group is that we create retreats and like the one that we're all hosting together. And then we also host like the one that's happening now. We're co-hosting with New Biology Clinic and Dr. Tom Cowan's companies. And so this one is, let's call it in-house. It's a Mära Wellness Group and Carrie Drinkwine getting to collaborate and create something that we're inviting women into, which we'll talk more about.
Yeah. Share a little bit about the type of yoga that people experience when women come to this retreat, because a lot of the time, what we're experiencing back at home is we're running on a treadmill all the time. And then we actually go get on a treadmill and run. And then we go to a boot camp style yoga and we're just burning the candle at both ends. And so my intention here is that everyone literally takes their shoes off. They walk around barefoot. They let their hair down. They totally relax. They nourish through whole organic foods. They're grounded in the sea. And then they get to do what kind of yoga, what kind of somatic healing with you to help down-regulate that nervous system?
Yeah, so we have kind of a few different approaches. One is that mainly everything we do is about slowing down. And so we've really been holding this intention and aspiration that for this Women's Wild and Rooted retreat, there's a level of, workshops, content, togetherness, and then there's a lot of spaciousness for women's intuition, natural rhythms to rise up and be people's own guides. And so the yoga is meant to really facilitate that. It's very somatic and mindfulness based. It's very slow. Restorative and yin are incorporated. And it's also really about, let's say we do a few poses, postures, let's say we do a series of movements, and then we go into some type of resting pose or stillness and really allow the natural rising up of whatever that movement created in us. We start to pay more attention to that and
release it.
And release.
Pay
if
attention
something
to
rises, then
release.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you host your yoga classes here on the island?
So there's a beautiful spa that people will get to come to. And as a part of the spa, there's a spa deck. And so we host some of our yoga sessions up there. We face the east for sunrise and we face the west for sunset. And then we also have a really beautiful outdoor palapa style. It's a building without a building. It's a roof, a beautiful thatched roof. And so we have outdoor movement as well at the palapa. And then we have singing bowls from a local practitioner, a local yoga teacher and sound healer who comes and does singing bowls out on the dock and or while we're on paddle boards. So getting to experience sound healing while on the ocean.
So wherever we are on the island, we are surrounded by water, hearing it, seeing it, smelling it, immersed by it. Yeah. And Carrie, tell us about, you have some incredible curriculums. You're the owner of multiple businesses, but a big thing that you contribute to this is curriculum. These are the tools. It's so important that Breyn and I always talk about, what is the tool that someone is going to take home? It's all well and good that we come on a vacation somewhere or we go on a retreat somewhere, but how do we not pick up that luggage that we try to drop off and release and let go of, right? These are tools that you're going to help guide women through your curriculum.
Yeah. So, what I do is regenerative health. I really help people get to the root cause of whatever imbalance or symptomology they're having in their lives and their bodies, right? So many women don't understand that the imbalance that they're having physically is actually energetic or emotional. So, I do own a global Institute of Regenerative Health, and I train practitioners globally. So what you're going to get is like a micro mini training of what these people come through really to create sovereignty in their health and in their lives, where they become their own practitioner. They don't need a practitioner because they understand their body.
That intuitive capability that we've been told we don't know anything about, right?
Yeah, and it's so much deeper. It's like, hey, here's a sign you can look for that means maybe kidneys aren't filtering, and here's something that you need to understand about XYZ. So I'll be doing a couple of classes, on understanding the body at the cellular level and understanding, the biochemistry, but then we take it a step deeper and understanding your body as electric, as voltage. And it's really just changing the narrative on how we think we're victim to our circumstances or victim to dis-ease in any way. And really creates just this huge level of empowerment in self and being able to see, food as fuel or fatigue.
Right.
So it's such a different narrative versus protein, macros, carbs, this or that. So I like to just really open your mind and change that completely. And then the other company that's my primary is the Regenerative Soul Institute. And that's really this work. It's retreat work. It's sacred soul return work. It's, the burnt out CEOs, the mothers, the women that have really just burned the candle at both ends or never been able to process emotions or felt safe to. And they're able to kind of return to source. I always say coming back to your blueprint before you had all the imprints.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So that's a curriculum really on actually quantum physics, energy, emotions, understanding your toroidal field. Like every time we have a little tear in our field, whether it's abandonment or we create, say we go through something really intense, it creates a little bit of what's called soul loss. And that soul loss will sit and actually act like a vacuum in your quantum field and bring back in that circumstance over and over. And you have to learn where the soul loss happened and how to heal those micro tears in the field. And that's when women really transform their lives on every levels when they're able to heal up that soul loss.
That's amazing. We were talking with another practitioner about that it takes 90 seconds for our brain to actually metabolize an emotion. And we are so used to very quickly quieting that down, right? In particular, as a healer, I have this goal that I want you to feel better as quickly as possible, right?
Yeah.
And this is a safe space for you to come, but let's get you better as quickly as possible. And I feel badly when someone isn't. And then this idea of let's sit in it. Let's sit for just 90 seconds and allow our brain to metabolize something so it doesn't become a tear, like what you're talking about. And then this sitting idea with breathe, that it's like sit with that and then let it up and let it go. So through academia, somatic movement and healing sessions, and then guided energy processes. Also, I always call where we are a tuning fork. This water here is a tuning fork. The ground is a tuning fork. And these vibrational components all come together that we feel like our true selves.
Yeah.
Again, when we're here.
And I do bring in like somatic breathwork therapy and like tools that these women can come home to always find that baseline, to return back to that baseline. So you get to bring the retreat home with you. And I think that's an important piece of integration. You know, there's one thing, like you say, going to a retreat and then going home with tools, but we're actually going to teach you how to integrate this work. And then some of the work that I always leave every woman with after retreat is one of my courses to follow. Like they just get it and they get to follow these protocols or lifestyle changes, these somatic therapies that will actually help transform their life.
So there's continued support after they leave here through your curriculum.
Correct.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And then they can always get in touch with you and become a client of both of yours also. Yeah. So that's, so these tools are there, that it's not just come and leave. There's support that we're going to offer along the way. If there were maybe a couple words that you think women are constantly navigating, like, I'm so tired, or I don't feel right, or they're navigating hormonal symptoms, maybe what are a couple keywords that you think women would identify with, that this would be a calling for them to come here if they're experiencing?
I don't know how to do it in a couple words, but I'll make it short. But, if there's a level, I think tiredness or overwhelm, or, some level of what feels like really deep-seated exhaustion. It's not just like, oh, I didn't sleep well last week. It's like years of or decades of feeling tired. From the way that I've been trained, there's physical aspects of that around sleep, but there's also a lot of subtle body work that we can do. Essentially, there is a way that our mental body essentially grasps our life force. And so when I think of the word wild, and when I think of rewilding, like there's a lot of things that it looks like on the internet, but for me, it's like, what if my energy body, my astral body didn't grasp my etheric body, my life force all day, every day? There's an aliveness and vitality that just inherently returns.
When you said that, I literally just woke up. I actually felt that. I completely identify with that I feel torn. I feel taken in multiple directions. I've called it quartering, right? That old medieval way where you were taken in 4 different directions and stretched and pulled, and you're like, I am literally gonna break.
I call it the 4 O's. Overwhelmed, overtired, overextended, overobligated.
There it is.
And that's the 4 O's that, like, it's like a box. Women are stuck in this 4O box. And it's because we're like the nurturer, the mother, the worker, the provider, and we feel, like I can't get a minute for myself, right? And that's always the excuse of why people can't take retreat, because they're in the 4O box. And it's actually the exact reason that they must. I always see total collapse around the corner. And women, the symptoms are brain fog, fatigue, weight gain, maybe some insomnia. And then it turns into like this, I just don't feel like myself in my body anymore. Like I don't even feel at home in my body. And that's soul loss at so many levels. So my whole work and my goal is to bring people back home to their hearts, to their souls, to their bodies, and like recalibrating the nervous system on every level.
That and being in community with other like-minded women. This is such a safe environment. The Prana Maya Island is a private island. There won't be anybody else here. A lot of the time, I will say, I actually go skinny dipping off the back here. Early in the morning, I go out, I ground, I call in the day, I feel what the messages are that I'm gonna share with everybody. But as a female traveling in a foreign country, that's how safe I feel here. That I can do something like that. And then inevitably, I always am meeting incredible women that I'm like, oh my gosh, we have now rendezvoused. I have so much to share with them. and an opportunity to have this like-minded connectedness that maybe we're missing in our day-to-day lives, that we don't get out and meet other women who are going to enliven us and stimulate us, and also really importantly, hold space for each other.
100%. I mean, both times I've been here, I've made incredible connections with women that like you actually care to be friends with.
Right. Yeah. Like, you're my people.
Yes, we find your people here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, we hope you join us at the next Women's Wild and Rooted. We're having so much fun here. We're laughing, we're dancing, we're eating delicious food and grounding every day. So please come join us fall of 2026 for the Women's Wild and Rooted at Prana Maya Island Resort in Placencia, Belize.